What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? DoctorDDub here, and today we're talking about the roadmap for Zelter, a brand new zombie survival game that just hit early access a few days ago. And if you haven't checked out my video on that yet, I highly recommend you do. After all, what kind of YouTuber would I be if I didn't recommend my own videos? Anyway, long story short, the game is fantastic, addicting, and I can definitely see myself playing a lot of it. It has a lot of potential, but along with that potential, it also has a lot of bugs and room for improvement. Luckily, the devs have just released a short-term roadmap outlining some of the major improvements they'll be making to the game over the coming months. Please keep in mind, though, that these are their planned goals, not promised goals. But without further ado, let's take a look at what we can expect to make its way to Zelter in the near future. First off, they've stated that their primary focus is going to be on quality of life improvements, as any self-respecting early access title should, so thank goodness for that. By the end of October of 2020, they've committed to 5 items. First up, they're going to reduce the number of zombies that attack you at the very beginning of the game from 2 down to 1. I'm not sure who was complaining about that, but okay. Secondly, they'll be adding a bed to the starting house, just in case farming 8 sticks to craft 4 wooden planks to make a bed was too much of a burden. Thirdly, aside from the initial zombie attack at the start, I'm assuming, zombie spawns will be delayed until you finish seeing all the initial tutorial tips. I'm not sure if this will apply across the whole map, but for those that want to hunker down and establish themselves at the starter building before heading out to hunt for zombies or scavenge for supplies, I'm sure this will be a welcome change. They'll also be adding in-game bug reporting and feedback options, presumably through the menu. This will definitely help those like myself, who aren't necessarily too lazy to post bugs and feedback in their Discord, but who are too forgetful to remember to. I will definitely be submitting my fair share of bug reports and suggestions. And lastly, they'll be, and I quote, working on other technical issues that you may have encountered. Quite a catch-all statement, if I do say so myself, but they did commit to providing a full list of fixes by Tuesday, October 27th, 2020, so stay tuned for that. If you're like me, though, and we're hoping that one of these fixes was regarding the broken save system, it unfortunately looks like we'll have to wait a little longer for that, as that is something that will be coming sometime in November. Continuing through the month of November, though, we can also expect to see some UI improvements based on community suggestions. This is something I love to see, devs actually taking community feedback into account. It's beautiful, so keep those suggestions coming via their Discord, which I'll have linked in the description below, or via the soon-to-come in-game feedback feature. They'll also be updating the AI for the NPCs, or companions, which, while I haven't quite seen them myself yet, based on some of the posts I've read in their Discord, this is a much needed and welcomed improvement. That is, assuming of course that it actually fixes some of the issues people have been having. And lastly, in November, they'll be adding a new weapon that will surely be a blast to play with. That's right, it's a bomb, presumably the one from the Zelter gameplay trailer. And if that's the case, I am very excited to get my hands on one, or let's be real, dozens of these bombs. That's it for the hard deadlines, if you could even call them that, but they did highlight 6 additional features that will be coming in the future, which I'm going to refer to as long-term goals. It's important to note, however, that they listed them as parts 1 through 6, leading me to believe that we'll be seeing those features added to the game in that order, though we don't have the concrete dates to expect them by at this time. The first of those is a complete redesign of the random map system and the implementation of a mission system. This one's really interesting to me because I can't think of what else a random map system could be, aside from procedural world generation, meaning a different map for everyone. Perhaps there will be world seeds, so if you find a map that you like, you could share that seed with a friend so you can play on the same map, but that's purely speculation on my part. And having a mission system would give more reason to go out and do things, such as maybe kill 10 zombies with an SMG, kill 5 spitters with melee attacks, collect 20 iron scrap, etc. You guys get the idea. The next feature to be added should be a housing system. Again, we know nothing on this yet, but my guess is that it will be a way to build new structures for your NPC companions to reside in, or perhaps an improvement to the player's housing system, allowing for customization and expansion, or in the ideal scenario, both. After all, why on earth would the fenced-in area around the starting building be so incredibly massive if we weren't able to build other structures in it? Again though, that's purely my speculation. Thirdly, they'll be adding a new farming item and system. My guess is that the farming item is fertilizer, but that's probably my Stardew Valley talking. As for the system though, I couldn't even begin to guess, but seeing as how farming is far from the main part of this game, I don't anticipate it being anything too in-depth, but I have been wrong before. Part 4 consists of a precision workbench and new items. My first thought was precision, as in snipers? And that got my interest for sure, but it could also mean something else entirely, like a way to craft really small items like lockpicks or toothpicks or something of the sort. I don't know. And parts 5 and 6 consist of a vehicle system and a pet system. While both of those sound really cool and like great additions to the game, this got me far more excited than if they had just mentioned that they were adding just vehicles and pets into the game. By not just adding those items, but those systems into the game, it likely means a lot more is coming along with them. If you allow me to fantasize for a bit, the vehicle system, for example, might consist of having to scavenge for parts of an old motorcycle, then combining and restoring them to create a usable motorcycle, which then requires fuel to be driven, and that fuel can be found throughout the world or can be crafted by combining X with Y at a fuel refinery crafting station. The possibilities are plentiful, not to mention the variety of vehicles that could potentially exist. As for pets, you can almost guarantee we'll be seeing a cat, as the main menu shows the player character petting a cat, after all. But as for the pet system itself, you'll probably have to gain their affection by caring for them, feeding them, giving them water, playing with them, etc. And I'm sure there'll be several different pets you can acquire as well, not just cats. It will definitely add more life to the game though, that's for sure, and make whichever base or place you decide to call home feel that much homier. I'm excited for it. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is both the short-term and long-term roadmap for Zelter. I'm super excited to continue playing the game throughout early access and into full release, and you can fully expect to see more on the game on the channel. As long as I'm having fun playing it, which I expect will be a while, you'll get more videos on it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope I'll see you in the next video. Until then though, as always, take care.